Good afternoon, guys. How are we? Um, Promised you I'd come to you guys with this. I am still building information, but I do want to talk to you about probably one of the hot topics in my house at the moment, and it's to do with that one coming down the hall. This one, yeah. Um, no, no. So this is today. Today is just about school bullying, and I'm just looking through statistics and want to talk to you about. And I have all consent from my children to be able to talk about these topics with you. Stop it, with you guys. It's becoming a big fucking issue. Now, the latest thing that I have seen in the news, social media, is that the bullies are now getting away with it. Schools have always said they've got a zero bully tolerance, but yet when it comes to giving consequences to the bully, it never happens, and that bully remains at school. The people that defend themselves end up being the ones further in trouble, and I think that's so wrong, so fucking wrong. And when you, as an adult, when you are caught in a conflict in a pub, club, those types of things, and someone attacks you, you have every right to do self-defense, and that is what is deemed physically within reason, without excessive force. So if it means that someone's punching into you, you have the right to push back and be able to get yourself away from the situation, escalate, whatever you want to do, remove yourself from the scene, da-da-da. At school, they don't teach that to the children. They teach if you hit back, you're the one in trouble, not the bully. That is fucking bullshit. Now, in the background, no, you don't. It's all good. Well, you might want to come and get a microphone and sit the fuck down, bro. Let me get him a mic, guys. So, as you guys know, these are live. I don't edit any of this. So you can actually see me getting my son mic'd up. You want to sit behind or you want to sit next to?
I sit behind.
You want to sit behind?
Yeah, I know. The back feels really good.
There's your mic. Now, there was a situation where a female student had gone out of her way, and by I mean going out of her way, she jumped over other students and teachers to hit my son, to throw him down the stairs and hit him. He did not hit her back. He pushed her.
Did I not?
He pushed her away from him to be able to go the opposite direction. There was 3 teachers in this episode. So there was one teacher at the start between my son and the other student. The other student had jumped over this teacher. And then there was the same 3 teachers separating them as it escalated, as my son tried to walk away. Now, as far as I know, there has been no punishment for this student, but my son
5 days.
got a 5-day suspension for self-defense because he had hands-on with another student. That is fucking ridiculous. Now, I've looked up some statistics here, and I am, going through and doing this as I speak to you guys. The statistics are just not okay. Now, this is a huge topic for us because not only does school bullying lead to mental health and suicide idolizations, it needs to be a reflection on what's happening in the kid's home. And it should be, if a kid is being bullied, we actually need to find out the deeper cause. and a lot of behaviours are learnt from home. Now, I have the biggest rule with my kids, and I've always stuck by this rule. Don't be the first person to run your mouth. Don't run your mouth. Don't do anything to antagonize the situation. However, if that person is to throw the first punch, then you have every right to defend yourself in any means necessary. And I don't care if that means that you punch back. You are not going to be in trouble in my house for self-defense. You will be in trouble with me if you have been the person to run your mouth, if you have been the person to antagonize the situation, and if you have been the first person to throw a punch. They're my rules. And I think that is fair. Don't start shit, don't talk shit, don't get hit.
Talk shit, get hit, mate.
And this has left my son as my very first episode. If you guys haven't heard it yet, it is the very first episode, very first season. I know it was only a very short season. I think there was like 3 recordings in it. This season is definitely going to be much, much longer this year, because I did start very late in the year before it went to the New Year's. New year, new season, every single time. That's what it's going to be, guys. But it's left a very dark place in my son's brain. This is my son that has now been left feeling victimized.
Sam, it's not your food.
That is our cat helping himself to food that's not his. But back to the seriousness of this topic, it has left my son feeling victimized. My son does not feel protected nor cared about within the school system. And I know there's a lot of other parents out there that have the same feeling. This is not okay. And the education department has taken too much control away from the teachers to be able to intervene in these episodes that happen, or attacks, or whatever you want to call them, to the point that this is now blowing out on streets. I was watching the news the other day where there's 13 and 14-year-old girls attacking other girls at the beach. For fucking what? For clout. Mate, you're not 50 Cent, you're not Eminem, we're not in the hood. Fuck off. It's just not, it's not a thing, guys. Like,
King Bomb.
it's not. You want to be in the hood, go to the hood.
Don't.
Don't-
Sin though. Sin City, bruh.
Look, Sin City in Australia is the hood. So that is, you know, where you find the cruelest of cruel, the meanest of mean,
Toughest.
So tough.
the rugged of rugged in that area.
Grubs.
Yeah. And I'm just going to censor that right there. Like, it's not a reflection. Sin City is the hood. Sometimes you don't have a choice but to grow up there, but if you can get yourself out, get out. If you've got, like, it's a choice. You don't have to live that lifestyle, but everyone chooses because that's what they're pictured at. I'm sorry, but I'm going to throw it back to the 90s. Jenny from the block. She turned it around. We get it. Anyway, global school bullying statistics, guys. Here's the scary part.
We're doing English or something.
1 in 3 students worldwide are bullied by peers at least once a month or within the last month. Have been bullied. 1 in 3. I don't ever remember school being fucking dramatic. I think that is the only way that I can describe it. I probably white girl privilege, whatever you want to fucking call it.
That guy.
Stop it. We are Indigenous. We do have that background.
I'm not
We-
Indigenous.
Stop it. You know, we are Indigenous persons. We are Aboriginal. My mother's side of the family are all Indigenous. I'm white as white. I get that. You don't see it?
Black is black, mate.
There is no reason to bully anyone. And he's had the racist comments.
I got time to go for a shower.
He's been told by other students in his class, in his year, from year 7. Year 7, they're 12. Telling him to go and fucking scrub himself because he is dirty. I work inside, I don't get to see the sun a lot.
I do.
I'm changing that though. But a 12-year-old telling another 12-year-old, we're in year 10 now. We have dealt with school bullying since he has started primary school. It doesn't leave a good feeling in anyone's heart or mind or brain. And then you start getting the feelings of worthlessness. You know, bullying, it doesn't just, it's not just face to face. And there's a lot more technology than what there was back in the 90s. I know, like, pick on me, boo-hoo, haha, funny. But 40% of the bullying is cyber. Now, I know every child that's meant to be banned from social media, they've found a fucking loophole. They have found a fucking loophole.
No, man.
They have found a loophole to still be on it, to still be able to access it, to still be able to talk to their friends. Pardon me, whatever. But at the end of the day, it comes down to what is happening in that kid's house. Why is the child bullying other children? Why do they feel they have to do that? What are they seeing? What have they been exposed to? That's what you should really be looking at. Now, there should be more open conversations with parents. Now, I know that times where he's been absolutely brutally attacking another child.
No. What are you talking about?
You have.
No.
I have gone home and he has been reamed for bullying. I have never, ever let him getting away. He doesn't even get away with calling his sister's names, let alone his brother. It was the biggest thing that I cracked down on. And I've sat him down and I told him, you know that shit feeling when you get when someone tells you you're a shit cunt? Don't do it to anyone else. I don't feel that he's done that at school, but I don't know what happens in a school. I have a very, very good communication with my son's school. However, I don't feel that he has been antagonizing for most of these attacks. And Rylan himself is a reactive child, not an active, but reactive. So he's reactive to the situation at hand. He will react to the environment that he's in. If his environment is highly strung and everyone's bouncing off the walls like fucking beans in a bean can, then he's going to be doing the same thing. So he's reactive to his environment. But not once has he been violent for no purpose at all. For no purpose.
Shut up, Dad.
He hasn't. I have my husband sitting here clicking his tongue at me, who, mind you, 90% of the time, when I'm dealing with these situations, is bumfuck Idaho on the other side of the country in a truck.
Someone's gonna make fucking money while you're sitting on your ass.
I do nothing.
You don't.
Apparently.
You don't when I say yeah.
I have 4 incomes.
4 businesses,
Where's
Dad.
the money to prove it?
Hiding.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Guys, we're not even doing this now.
Oh yeah, no, we're doing it. You started it.
Okay, here's the mic.
No. As you guys know, we have PT. We have this. So you guys need to start following, sharing, getting the word out there because you guys help us and stop him from thinking he's the breadwinner.
He's a gold digger.
Thinking what?
You're the breadwinner.
Breadwinner.
You might slice the bread, but you don't bring it home.
Oh, friggin'.
There's our banter, guys, that we're talking about in the last episode. Jump on, have a look. Jump on, have a look. See what our last episodes were about. But the
Don't talk to me.
the biggest and hardest thing is the effects. The effects of bullying. Like, let's get back to the real topic. Fuck whatever he's saying. It's 1 in 3 kids that are bullied. Most of those children that are bullied have a disability, may it be mental, emotional, or physical. But just because someone doesn't look like they look different, but they do process things differently, is not means to bully anyone. And it's up to 60% globally. 60% globally have been bullied because of physical appearance, mental capacity, emotional capacity, the way someone learns. I know myself, I am not a hands-on learner. I'll be the first one to say, I actually have dyslexia. I've dealt with it all my life, but I've never let it hold me back. And I don't let these kids let themselves hold themselves back at all. All three of my children are on the spectrum. He is at probably the worst end of the spectrum. Instead of having meltdowns and crying and locking himself in isolation, he has anger bursts. Like, he will have an outbreak. He will scream and curse and just absolutely fly off the hangers. He has the aggressive outbursts, but it needs to be antagonized first. It needs to be provoked for him to be able to have that type of response. There has to be something that's poking the bear. I can't make it any dumber. So someone's sitting there and he's poking and poking and poking and throwing rubbers and rocks and he is just going to give the same reaction. He's going to be an absolute fucking mirror to that little person that thinks it's okay to give shit out. And not only is that 60%, but let's have a live reaction here. So let's see how many of those bullyings end up in self-harm. So you've got 60% of people, 60% of kids at school being bullied, most of those with a disability, 20% of them end up in suicide.
Or cutting himself.
Suicide. Half of that statistic is self-harm. What are we doing, guys? What the hell are we going to do? I know when I found out he was struggling, I reached out for help. And if you heard in the first episode when it was about mental health and adolescent mental health at that, we went to the hospital. We asked for help. Do you think we actually got to see anyone or a psychologist?
Nope.
We are still waiting for supports. We have linked in with a service recently, but our first appointment was cancelled. Not a new venue found, not a new anything. The first appointment was cancelled because they didn't have anywhere to be able to do it. Where does that leave the kid? He already feels like no one wants to help him. He already feels helpless and that he's not welcome on the earth. And then you've got kids that want to go spit in his face and call him a shit cunt. Like, honestly, where is the help for adolescents? Where is the help for adults? So after he was attacked at school, he refused first aid. He also refused medical assistance the day after. The morning of the following day, he actually refused to have help. It wasn't until his boss rang him to go to work that he calls me absolutely frantic, going, "Mum, my boss wants me to work, but I can't lift my head out of the toilet bowl." I raced home from dropping my eldest son and his partner to his partner's place. I raced home. I cancelled every appointment that I could, hoping that I might be able to get back to be able to see some more of my clients in the afternoon. Unfortunately, I did have to cancel everything that night because I had to sit in hospital with my son, which was my priority. He ended up having a severe concussion, something that he shouldn't have got unless he was playing footy or KO'd in a boxing ring.
Yep.
But no, he got this at school, in the school grounds, by another student. He's still suffering side effects today. He's still having migraines. He's still having headaches.
I don't have headaches. My head just hurts.
Yeah, it's a headache, mate.
It's not.
Well, head doesn't throb, Mum. It's not a headache.
It's not.
Now,
But I still had a sore midday.
we did have to give, when the ambulance pulled up, I rang Health Direct Australia, which is a support line for health in Australia. I told them what effects he was having. I told them everything that was happening and that he wasn't able to lift his head out of the toilet bowl or move away from it because every time he did, he'd start vomiting again. They are the ones that rang the ambulance for my son. I had to wait here until they were available. I wasn't allowed to move him because they thought that he had pretty severe injuries. Thankfully, he didn't. And still, zero consequences for the bully that has done this. Zero. The school's not allowed to tell the victim or the victim's parents or family what actions have been taken to do this. Now, I know going through the court system, as a victim, you get told what the person is being persecuted for. Anyone that has dealt with the court or charges knows that their victim gets told everything and laid on the table. Now, if you can have a criminal record from the day that you step into high school or turn 12, you should have every right to know what that person has done to your child and what their punishment is going to be. The school system have this completely fucking backwards. Completely backwards. I don't want the child's name. I don't want the child's address. I don't want any of that information. I don't. I want to know what has happened to that child. I want to know if that child has deemed or been deemed unfit to return to school until XYZ has been completed, or has been suspended from school, or has been made responsible for their actions. I don't care about the child's name because at the end of the day, my child's going to tell me who it was. I don't need to know. I don't need the school to tell me because they're going to tell you. I've always kept an open book with my kids, and I always keep so many things on the table. Sometimes I make it a joke. Why? Because it's easier for the kids to handle and understand. I'd rather muck around with a situation and have some banter. Teach my kids to be a little bit tougher when you know, Susie down the road calls you Biggie Blue Pants. But when it comes to a verbal attack or physical attack, that's not okay. Just because Susie down the road thinks you're Biggie Blue Pants, I think I can let that roll off the back. But I can't let someone drag him through the mud, call him names for the sun,
Throw him
Call him-
downstairs.
throw him down concrete stairs of all things, not just stairs, concrete stairs, assault him, and he is the one suspended because he pushed her away. Now, I'm sorry, I have always been raised, so I was raised by my dad, and I will always, and it will always stick in my head, and it will, I don't want anyone to, come at me all you want, actually. I don't really care. I'm old school. I used to, if a guy wanted to have words with me and wanted to throw punches, I would line him up. Wouldn't care. I'd take him on. But I was that girl that I was told, if I'm willing to do that, be prepared to be hit back. Now, this student that has had this happen is going to end up to be one of these statistics that the unfortunate thing may happen. She ends up in a domestic violent relationship or a violent relationship, whatever it may be. She's going to be the person that calls wolf.
She's already lost half her friends.
She's going to be the girl that sits there and cries in the courtroom because she slapped her boyfriend and he punched the fuck out of her. I'm sorry, sweetheart, but you hit first. Now, I know this is out the school hands, and I know that needs to be more restrictions around what is broadcasted. So not only was he attacked, the fight was recorded multiple times by multiple different students and posted on social media. Why is that okay? They're meant to be having these bans for children under 16. But why is this fight for my son everywhere? And I mean everywhere. Then I have this girl that has attacked him, but he's not allowed to defend himself back.
Make up a lie.
Run her mouth on social media about the damages she didn't do or actions that never happened that can be seen in the footage.
Oi, King.
She is claiming that she has broke his nose, his eye socket, everything. The only reason she had the advantage on my son is she was female. And she actually jumped teachers to push him down the stairs. That is the only reason. Now, I'm sorry if you don't agree with me with the way I parent my children, but I'm not sorry. Because at the end of the day, I know that he's going to survive. I want to be able to send my kids to school without being worried about school bullying, without worrying about mental health issues. You send your kids to go to school to be safe, not to be picked on, not to be belted, and not to be singled out. Now, this is not the first event that we have had of my son being singled out. This is the first event my son has been singled out by a female, and she did come off first because she was female. He has been picked out by male students at the school. We made report after report after report to the school. Nothing was done to their behaviour, to the point that they actually put a police officer, a student liaison officer of the New South Wales Police, into the school. She has her own office, her own desk, and her own contact number. Now, what's that got to say about the education department? That they have to train these police officers to be in schools. I can tell you now, there's a lot more jobs out there that really need their help than sitting there waiting for a kid to break out into a fight and record it and put it on social media. There are so many more things that they need to be out there doing, not worrying about our youths. Absolutely disgraceful, and something needs to change. I am a small voice in a big pond, but I hope to hell that one day this recording or this platform for me is able to change something. Because in Australia, not being able to send my kid to school safe is just not okay. To be anywhere in the world, to be able to send your child to school, whether you're mum, dad, auntie, uncle, grandma, grandpa, just send any of your children to school, to know that they're just going to get attacked, that's not okay. I know it's a bit of a heavy subject. I know it's hard and heavy. We didn't hear much from Rylan. Do you have something you want to put in, mate?
No.
We have made the decision that we are not continuing with proper education, as they call it. He will no longer be returning to school. We will have other means that he will be studying to be able to get the qualifications he needs to get to the positions he wants to be in. But there is no way that my child will be returning to school to receive these types of punishments for just being a human being. It's not right. I know there was a little bit of off topic there in the middle, guys, but that is just a small drop in a big pond of the statistics of bullying in schools. It's just not okay. We need to put a stop to it as parents, and we need to reach out to the education department and make some big changes, and quick, because it's not us that's going to pay for it. It's going to be our children. And for me, that just does not sit right. Next time, guys, hopefully we can be on a little bit of a lighter subject. We'll have some fun, have some laughs. I can't wait to see you on the next one. But until then, enjoy, guys.